Our situation has not improved.
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the Edge of Civility.
You're listening to The Mean Geek, episode 177.
Interesting in your own life when you look at yourself and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
How did this come to this?
You should stop talking that way because I started recording.
Oh, shit. Well, fuckity.
We gonna talk some comics, boy. But the beer cap is not a monocle.
Can be.
Mainly because you can't see through it. Secondly, because if you take a wrong step, you have no eye.
Admittedly, that would be bad.
You tool bag. Hey, kids. This is The Mean Geek. Comics podcasting on the edge of civility. There's no Angie's List for comics, and that's where we come in. The only podcast actively irritating its listeners.
Mostly by constantly reappearing with the same slogans again and again.
Yeah, well, irritating is irritating. That's what we got.
Please don't squeeze the Charmin.
What? No, stop.
You are
Charmin.
You starting to look like Mr. Whipple.
Fuck off with you.
And that time to make the donuts guy?
I do not look like the donuts guy.
Time to make the donuts.
I would need a face 5 times the size of my face just to fit that mustache on the donut guy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr.
The
Whipple.
donut guy got a giant ass mustache. I'm the Tech Jedi, Adrian Hunter, your host for the most. Or not. It doesn't matter.
For the most?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
No,
it's not true.
Host for the most.
For the most fun.
No, that can't be it.
Yeah.
Host
A guy misspeaks and he's got to eat shit.
Host for the most bacon?
Yes. That works. Don't
Bed
tell me
sores?
Oh, hey. Ew. Pulling a Jeff up in this motherfucker. This is nasty. Just go straight to the nasty.
I didn't. I went to bacon first.
Anyway, I run the shit.
That's true.
You're the, air quotes, talent, Reverend Mad Duck, Bill McGinnis.
That's me. I bring the funny.
What we strive to do here is give you comics talk that will make you laugh.
See, kids, here at The Mean Geek, we've embraced the idea that comics are worthwhile and even sometimes laudable.
Good word.
I
laudable.
know.
Not like laudanum.
Dude, I was trying to be all fake positive for a second. You ruined it. Fuck off with your laudanum. What are you, Wyatt Earp up in this bitch? Yeah, I read history. Fuck you.
Too funny. Nerd news.
I got a haircut.
You know what happened? That's not news.
No, it's true. I'm a nerd. I got a
It's an
haircut.
event. It's not really news.
Well, it is like a yearly thing, so yeah, I guess it is.
So, a few months ago,
yeah.
I know you didn't look this up because you were at work today. I saw it. I saw a lot of it. Kind of disappointed me. But then it kind of turned around and I was like, okay, that's better. So, what happened? Many months ago, this poor kid was taken away from his parents because they were teenagers and they had 3 other children.
Damn.
Yes. So, all the children were given to her parents.
Okay.
Now, apparently, her parents are exactly... No, that's a moral judgment. I won't say that. Are complete fucking assholes. Negligent, everything. To the point where one of the kids, in fact, died from negligence.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Way to go, government.
Kid was 5.
Motherfucker.
He liked Superman. This is in Toronto. You do that every time, and every time I tell you it's the fucking text message.
I knew that.
No, you didn't, because you shook your head like, what the fuck you doing? Stop it. Anyway. Oh, Darth Vader followed me. I'm not going to retweet anything he does, so he's going to unfollow me tomorrow.
Darth Vader?
Yeah, there's like 17 Darth Vaders, man. What are you talking about?
There's only one Darth Vader.
That is the truth. However, back to the story.
Okay.
So, you know, the world found out about this, and they said that's not the kind of thing that should go unmentioned, unmemorialized. So this one guy made a bronze statue people kicked in $36,000. They were going to put it in a park in Toronto, because that's where all this happened.
Right.
The city of Toronto said, yeah, you've got the statue with the Superman logo on the kid's chest, and we want you to ask DC if that's okay.
Well, that makes sense, but that's all, you know.
And DC said, go fuck yourself.
Really?
Yes. They said, we don't want you to do it. We can't have Superman associated with negligence. And, well, no, it's associated with the kid loving him. Yeah, this movie's got to go. I can't deal with that.
Come on. It's like A Man Called Horse, except it's Ichi. And I kind of want to throw up.
No, move it. Get rid of it. Stop it. So then, the internet lost all its shit properly when they heard about this. So late this afternoon, DC said, "Oh, I guess we were wrong about that. You go right ahead."
Please rebuild your statue.
It's like, really, guys? You were dumb enough to say no, and then you reverse yourself? You know, have a backbone, or be human beings and not refuse such a thing to begin with. How about that? You know, you won't shut down a fucking Etsy guy who's making hundreds of dollars off your properties that he's not paying for, but, you know, memorialize a 5-year-old and suddenly you can't be associated. Make up your fucking mind.
Not that we're anti-Etsy, let's just point out.
I've never bought anything from Etsy.
Neither have I, but you know what? If you want to take somebody else's bed sheets and turn them into fucking dresses or whatever, like, that shit's kind of impressive. Do what you want, like, you know.
Yeah, kind of, but you're still making money off of other people's licensings. So.
Well, you know. I'm just saying, like,
trademark gets very, very sticky. What we as normal, everyday people feel is a fair use, as the phrase goes, is one thing. What's actually legal ain't necessarily the same. At any rate, that was the craziness I had heard about today.
I got nothing.
You wouldn't, because you're too busy working.
That's true, sadly.
I don't even know when you get time to do comics. It's amazing how fast you go through comics.
That's why I read at the speed I do. Now, speaking of which, I have no idea what happened in any of these, so you're going to have to cover me.
You can't possibly say that. You're just fucking with me from last week, man. I actually pulled that out last week.
Dude, don't remind me about that. That was unacceptable.
I didn't do too badly. What are you talking about?
Just keep it put away this time.
What?
Not cool.
Fuck. Oh, pull that. Oh, God, you're an ass. So there's this new Bendis joint. New Bendis Oming joint. United States of Murder, Inc.
They call it murder.
Incorporated. M-U-R-D. Doesn't fit.
No, not at all. Horrible.
You would have done it. You'd have tried.
I thought about doing it, and I
it
realized it didn't fit, so I stopped myself.
So listen.
Yeah.
Years ago, decades ago, for some god-awful reason that ain't entirely fucking clear just yet, the United States government
this is about the book. Not
yes, this is now the book.
Okay, yep.
We're in the book now.
All of the Northeast was given to dun-dun-dun!
The Mafia.
Dude, I'm sorry. Like, I love Bendis. I love Oming.
But this one really stretches credulity.
Dude, that just seems like a dumb like, what if the mob owned part of the U.S.? All right,
it's kind of out there.
It kind of feels like one of those weird, like, semi-associated Robin Williams 4-second sketches in the middle of other sketches. 4 score and 7 mobsters. What? No, Robin, no. Cocaine is bad, kids.
The thing is, they left moles, and those moles reproduced.
Well, you know what?
And didn't tell the baby moles they were baby moles.
You've been spending your entire life building to join the Mafia, only so I can reveal to you you're FBI.
Oh, shit.
Snitches get stitches, bitches.
And there's our title. Snitches get stitches, bitches.
No, it was a fun, like, the storyline was fun.
Yeah. as the execution, the dialogue, it's all on point Bendis stuff. The art is oming, so it can't be compared.
No, it's all fun, but it's a very weird concept.
It's flimsy at best.
And you've got, your typical male lead, his wacky, not so bright sidekick, who doesn't do well, so that was a little bit unexpected. And the uber Black Widow,
the
Wonder Mob chick. Like, there's a couple tropes flowing around in this one. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Because she's got some personality so far.
No, there's been some clever things, and that whole, touch my tit thing was definitely...
Hey, get it over with, get it out of your system.
And you had to love the guy sitting there like, this has to be a trap. There's nothing safe. And like, she seems like she could kick my ass, and like, doing this would result in that, so I am highly confused right now, and yet oddly aroused. How dare you, woman, play with my mind? And that was a me, so yay me for picking a weird concept that didn't totally suck. Yay!
I know I was going to do it because I'm a huge Oming fan.
Yes.
I love Bendis.
Did you do two?
Yeah, of course I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
You don't always.
Those are usually mistakes.
Oh. Or
God.
badass.
Or badass. I got you through 3.
No, I'm just saying you didn't get yourself one of those, and that was...
Oh, no. I see what you're saying. 2 copies. Yeah, no, sometimes. So, I mean, yeah, we're going to go through with it, see what it says, but it makes me wonder, is he just making, like, a TV/movie proving ground? I mean, or is he actually still invested in his own properties? Because he's ignored Bureau, which was brought out because he was ignoring Powers. He's ignored Takio.
I think you have to take... when you have that many things going on, you're going to get inspired on different things at different points. Like when you're writing 2 books, 1 book, all your ideas are leaning towards that. Maybe you have another concept you work on a little on the side, but most of your key ideas go into that. When you have as many things in the fire as Bendis does, certain properties are going to wane on the back burner as other ones rear to the head. And the thing is, when you're that talented, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up the dude's ass, but Bendis is an amazing comic book writer. He's an amazing writer, but, he writes in comic books, so, let's call a spade a spade. You can put whatever you want out there. People are going to think about picking it up.
Oh, sure.
And when you've got as many strong, individually owned properties like that out there, you have an idea, you're like, fuck it, I should put this on paper and make some money of my own on it. And considering the number of talented people that just want to fucking work with a dude.
Well, I mean, just throw out more than a dozen issues or something,
Well, you know what? I would rather, with books like Takio, obviously I miss Powers considerably, but I'd rather they came when they were good than just pushing them out to make sure that you're maintaining a schedule. I'm all about schedules, don't get me wrong. Like, it drives me nuts when books just keep disappearing.
Did you notice what was just cut off?
No, la, my oh my, look like the boy too shy.
We are not doing well with Asian cinema tonight.
As
Every
if
time we
ever
turn
do.
around, something disgustipating is on this fucking screen.
But the fact of the matter is, this was a neat concept. I don't love it overall, but I'm intrigued to see where it goes.
Yeah.
But as far as Bendis, dude, you just can't have 14 books all brimming equally on a monthly basis. Your brain would explode. Plus, he's one of the Marvel, he's involved in, he's got so many fingers in Marvel pies.
Yeah.
It's like, what are your thoughts on Miss Marvel? Dude, you need to fuck off. I write 13 books a month. I've got 2 novels, a television series, agita, possibly hemorrhoids. I don't have thoughts on Miss Marvel. Go away. Never darken my door again. Hey, this slapstick revival, get the fuck out.
I think he could pull off a slapstick revival.
No, you don't. You just want to see it, so I'm miserable because I have to buy it.
Yes.
I got you that Bendis slapstick you wanted. I sprung extra. I figured you'd want to buy the artist edition. It's all black and white and $30 extra. So well played, Bill.
I would do that.
Yeah, I know you
I
would
would do that to you. Star Slammers number 3. The homeworld is finally attacked, And the silver mine. The hive mind.
Yep.
Is, the best you can call it. I mean, it's pretty accurate to call it a hive mind, right?
The thing is, you have to bear in mind that this is old. Like, that was early 80s.
Not disparaging it.
No, but it's, like, you're hearing these concepts out loud, and you're like, dude, really? It was like, it was 1980. Like, this, like, hive mind, you're like, what the fuck?
Maybe you're thinking like that. I understand what a hive mind is.
So this is finally growing, because the first two, you're like, dude, what the fuck?
No. It's not the concepts that are getting me. It's how long each individual issue goes.
Well, when it was...
I'm fine with hive mind.
All right, okay. But it's interesting because one graphic novel divvied into 3 comics makes for some motherfucking, right? Like...
Yeah, it does end in odd spots, and it does take forever to get anywhere. The pacing is definitely not what we're used to in the new century. And
it's a different kind, like, it's classic Simonson art, but at the same time, the stylized nature of certain things, like, guys in armor holding weird weapons don't have the same, I'm a giant dude with a hammer raining it on a giant troll head. Wham skull! Wham skull! Very few things are as epic as Wham skull.
Do that again. As epic as Wham?
Wham skull.
Wham skull.
Wham! Exclamation point! Skull.
Wham! Skull. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they're under attack. It's all fights. It's all, oh my god, we're gonna get annihilated because we can't get the hive mind together. Which will, we're like Voltron up in this motherfucker.
And, well, you also have the young Luke Skywalker hero who doesn't do all that well.
No, he really kind of comes out pretty poorly, huh?
Which definitely was unexpected.
Yeah, the normal thing to see and to want to see would be for him to just pull it out, and save the day. But it's only a 3rd issue, so you got to get him a little more dramatic build up before he really just plays white.
Well, I think we have one more issue of this. Then they go into this 6-issue miniseries that they did for Bravura, that Simpson did for Bravura.
Got me. I wasn't looking at the previews that closely.
If memory serves. Let me see this one again.
Yes, here it comes.
I'm pretty sure there's one more.
So much good stuff, and we got to get through it to get to the bad stuff to get back to the good stuff.
That is a very weird sentence.
Yes, it is. I mean, the next one's good, and then there's some bad, and then we get back to the good. So
no, this is the end of the graphic. This is the end of the graphic novel. The next issue is the first of a different storyline.
All right. Thanks for clarifying that. So number 3 was 60 some odd pages of a graphic novel from the early 80s.
Yep.
So there you are, kids. Go get some copies.
Or you buy the original if you can find one.
Here's the thing. There is a frightening amount of drama in the staggeringly frightening Afterlife with Archie 5. There's a tiny bit of homophobia. There's some romantic problems. There's the butler's backstory, which I guess, okay.
Whole lot of wacky butler action.
Yeah, he was a little Pennyworth-ish there. But it's all done awesome.
I cannot fathom how good this book is. Like, I'm listening to Archie talk about his relationship with his parents, with Betty, and I'm like, what? No, that's... I should hate this should be the worst comic book you could possibly imagine. Like, if somebody came to you a year ago, they're like, hey, I'm going to write an Archie zombie comic, you in? You'd be like, dude, you need to fuck off. Like, nah, don't even talk to me in public with that.
Dude, I bought this exactly on the strength of Francavilla. I was like, all right, I don't think he would put his name and effort into a bad book.
I raved about that shit. We have bought 10 copies, 2 each, of Archie the Zombie.
Yeah.
Or Archie the Future Zombie. Like, whatever you want to call it. Like, what? You have a nice. Are you like bronzing yours at home and just reading mine, or
no? What bronzing? Bronzing? No, but I am going to slab them. So,
really?
Nah. Most of mine are second prints. So.
Oh.
I love the first time. Which zombie Archie cover do you want, man?
Oh my god! Oh my! I literally thought about smacking you just with that sentence. Do you want the Jughead zombie face or the dude? What? No, I don't fucking care. And then you're sitting there like, dude, I wonder if that one was better. Like the Francovia's art is so fucking good.
It's amazing. But the thing is, Archie consistently sells over 100,000 fucking copies of everything they print. They're bigger than fucking Batman.
We need to find one of those fucking Life with Archie graphics and figure out what the two storyline future, like the Kevin Keller thing. Like,
I got a couple of novelty issues of Kevin Keller.
Yeah, you got the George Takei one.
When Takei showed
up.
Rhymes with toupee, as he said in the Shatner roast. And the first one, because semi-groundbreaking, and who the fuck doesn't like George Takei?
It's true.
So I got those, but they are making changes, and they are good changes, and people are accepting this shit. And Archie has not left. There's been no reason to cull Archie titles ever. They just sell. They sell for kids. They sell for adults that don't take themselves so fucking seriously, like a neck-bearded fucking fat man wandering around the con with a short box going, "You want to sign my books?"
Is that us?
No.
Oh, okay. I was a little confused.
You ain't got no neck beard, and you ain't fat, and you don't carry a short box?
No, they're heavy.
Yeah.
I have to say,
It may sound like I hate certain subgroups of fandom here, and
we're all inclusive.
To those who may think that, I have to tell you, you are fucking correct.
What happened to we're all fanboys and not to judge each other?
That's in general.
Oh, okay. In specific.
If you're walking around in a My Little Pony shirt at a Comic-Con, I don't give a fuck. Because you paid, the Comic-Con is going to benefit. You're going to see a My Little Pony comic, you're going to buy it, the dealer's going to benefit. You're going to walk away happy. The publisher's going to benefit.
I feel like there's a certain Brony Archie kind of
There might be a
comparison.
crossover in there somewhere, yeah. Maybe. But as far as that goes, that's fine. I'm not going to stop you from...
Do what you want, just don't be a dick.
Looking at Sailor Moon. But there's a certain level of fan that are so involved that they forget hygiene, they forget health, they forget common fucking courtesy.
All right, fair enough. Those people are douchies.
And I can't handle those.
Instead of bronies, they're douchies.
Yes.
We're anti-douchey and furry.
Yes, can't handle furries. So,
but yeah, I feel like the Archie fan and the Brony fan, because it is inherently, this obviously being an exception, primarily a kid's book.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it has this 50s charm that just connects with people.
Sure.
That don't let go, and that's fine. I've never, you like Archie? I don't give a rat's ass. I think Hong Kong Phooey is the pinnacle of culture. I'm not judging a goddamn person who doesn't walk around in a furry buttless costume. You, I judge.
Me. Yes,
no, anybody walk around in a furry buttless costume, I say thee nay.
I'll be happy to judge you all day long. Justice. Done.
Freedom. Give me my damn Archie.
I wasn't, however, all so happy with Dr. fucking Spektor.
I thought, quite honestly, that the I fight real vampires on television for ratings was an interesting idea. It's not in any way terrible.
As a start, there's this occult hunter with a reality show, as you said. But he has a nervous break after every success because he needs one particular person to share it with. And who does?
No, they never.
They never.
It's a dream girl.
It's a dream girl. Yes, that's a good way to put it. Now, he needs that, but while he's attempting to debunk a medium, it turns out she is in fact real, which is kind of like, oh, of course.
Yeah, dude, you just fought a vampire, but you're mocking medium. Like, really?
But the thing is, one of her visions kills his producer, which is okay.
Didn't see that coming.
It's different. Here's your Francavilla cover. Be my guest.
Yeah, I have to say, in all honesty, I like Mark Waid. The best thing about this was the Francavilla cover. Like, I'm like, whoa! Yay for Franca! I'm fucking obsessed. It's sad.
Dude, he's amazing!
But is this a horrible book? No.
Not really, but it's just... I'll tell you, over and over again, we get spoiled sometimes.
It's true, but at the same time, there is a limit to the comic dollar.
Yes.
Okay? And is there anything about this book like, I can't wait to read the next one? Does the next one have a Francavilla cover?
Don't know.
Well, that's not a good... If I'm like, ooh, cover. I'm sorry,
yeah,
no.
if the cover's the deciding factor, that's not $2.29 worth.
You know, I buy things for covers out of dollar boxes.
Yes.
Like,
dollar
Mike
boxes.
Mignola cover. Okay, done.
Bing.
I will buy you freaking Aquaman 6 versus the Deep 6. Not at all painful to have. I spent $1 on you.
Not Deep Star 6.
No, sadly.
Okay.
Aquaman versus Deep Star 6. Dude, I'd have that shit in platinum. Greg Evigan as Aquaman.
It wasn't Greg Evigan.
My two dads.
Oh, no, I thought he was BJ and the Bear. Wasn't
He might have been BJ and the Bear, too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I know my two dads because I took Commodore wife to a dollar store, and there were I found 10 episodes of My Two Dads that she needed, and I had to fucking watch. And dude, the worst part was, for whatever reason, she kept falling asleep.
Because it's My Two Dads.
No, but you don't understand. Like, she kept rewatching it. I'd see the same fucking episode of My Two Dads 4 nights in a row. Like, that shit is not cool.
And they're only 20 minutes long.
Oh, dude, I'm telling, like... Fuck off, and you're snoring too? No, hell to the no.
That's pretty fucking funny.
No, dude, miserable. And she still owns that shit. It's still in my house, floating around like a giant canker-ridden My Two Dads DVD. Sorry, boys and girls, for the slight Greg Evigan, offset, but true story.
All right, so... All right, so yeah, there's our take on Dr. Spektor. Now, Doc Samson 5. Savage! Why do you keep doing that?
Because you're a Marvel guy at heart.
God, fucking hell. I don't even care about Leonard Samson. Jesus.
You hate Leonard Samson.
I do! So why does he keep coming back to my head?
End your dreams.
Not for my head. To my head. Aha!
Oh, Doc Samson, why can't you solve my broken heart?
See, I even wrote it down when I had the fucking book in front of me. So, we go slightly forward in time in number 5, where Doc's organization is worldwide and on satellites even.
200 sidekicks, all with stupid nicknames.
Yes, every last one of them. And on these satellites, they eliminate the threat of pothead doofuses who think that a novel is real and take out an old Nazi death ray satellite, which was kind of cool. I love Nazi death ray satellites, make no mistake.
That was the highlight.
That was the highlight. The doofuses who think a novel is real
Well,
might be pushing it.
I mean, that's a classic Japanese cultist thing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So that's my take.
It's just, I like Doc Savage, but we keep moving further and further away from what I look for. Like, all of his sidekicks are dead. There's a bunch of wacky new ones. Like, there's this... DC tried a few years back to have a future Doc Savage with his nephew, Clark Savage, and...
Clark Savage.
Well, that's his real name.
Is it really?
Clark Savage Jr.
Junior. Discount Clark Savage Jr.
But it just... I feel like we're like this whole Dynamite run is just slowly becoming less and less understandable.
Well, that's what Dynamite does, man.
Now with the Shadow has stayed pretty true to point.
They reel you in, and they get you the barb hasn't gone in yet, but the hook is there.
Well, it's strange because you look at the Shadow, everything that they've done in the Shadow. And we haven't tried everything because they've done. It's like, hey, right, we own this character. Well, let's get him in 37 books.
Yeah.
But the Garth Ennis run was fairly true to form.
Yeah.
The Matt Wagner run has been ridiculously true to form. Mm-hmm. Although the year one thing is like fucking dead and buried people walk away.
Yeah. I'm done with
Shadow now basically just cribbed the entire world from Jake and Shadow. So I'm like, fine, run with that. Is that the same sidekick?
I don't know. Is it?
It's a brand new sidekick for a new age, people.
So the one last thing, the only thing I'm going to say about the
Doc Simpson?
Doc Savage.
Wild Doc Simpson antics.
The Doc Savage annual is Seas Spider Society. That is all.
I like that a lot more. Also, we see that Doc Savage gets girls, which was unexpected. I don't recall that ever happening.
Well, you figure it must have.
You know, he had 5
Somewhere along the line.
pals that he got through the Great War with, and they all bunked down in a giant apartment in the middle of New York.
That is a hell of an assumption. I mean, the evidence fits, but you can't just plunk that idea in there for somebody like Doc Savage.
No, fair enough. But and then they have this whole like I'm mourning my ex-buddy. There was the annual had a lot of strange elements to it.
Yeah, but it was more readable than 5.
I love the annual in comparison to 5. Like woohoo, yeah, here are sidekicks. I thought the art was stronger.
Yep.
His Spanish girlfriend was a little bit fucking insane. And you know his Indian buddy and but when his friend died in the war and he just jumps up and starts fucking wailing on Nazis. Club you with your friend. Club you with your friend.
I'll hit a motherfucker with another motherfucker. Go say hi to the Commodore. What it really says is you're a goddamned asshole. That's what it says. Oh, hey, we're back. Hi, kids. Did you read the Atomic Robo trade paperback I gave you?
Yes, and thank goodness.
So
that
you
I
are
did.
totally caught up on why the events of #1 of Knights of the Golden Circle are happening.
Dude, all you really have to say is Atomic Robo's in the Old West. Like, if you don't want to read Atomic Robo Gunfighter, you need to find another podcast. Like, I'm sorry, like this is not going to get any easier for you as time goes on. We're not going to evolve into the kind of podcast that you want to be listening to. If you think Tesla designed a robot that somehow traveled through time due to crystals, fired on by a dinosaur, and ended up in the Old West where he buys a serape and fights crime, and you're like, nah, that's not for me. Get the fuck out my house. Like now. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 goddamn dollars. Just get up and leave.
I don't ever want to see you at a con. I don't want to hear about you on Twitter. You're not the kind of person I want to associate with.
You know, this is the litmus test for awesome.
It really is. So more generically, or more specifically,
Yes.
specifically.
That was pretty generic.
That was generic. Yeah, so he gets crystal shot at him. He goes back to 1874 where he realizes he better be discreet. God knows what to fucking change in here. He's minding his own business out in the wilderness trying to be careful when this guy who's been ambushed just kind of stumbles across him. And Robo being Robo is like, banana oil! I gotta take him to town. So he takes him to town and the people who ambush him catch up. And of course, hilarity ensues.
Oh, dude, this is so good. Criminals being criminally Robo, and Robo's completely confused. Like, wait, I'm a famous gunfighter. Like, yeah, his brain is on lockdown. It's just so fucking awesome. I don't even know.
It's fun upon fun upon fun.
Like,
and I think that this is the kind of book that John Byrne was complaining about when he said that pretty much all joy has been sapped from the big two. He might be a little cynical on that.
He's a lot cynical, but there's nothing in either of the big two right now that hits on all cylinders like this does. Like,
well,
there just isn't.
We're still finding out about like Miss Marvel. That's a fun book.
Yeah, but you know, it's
I don't know if you'd call it joyous just yet.
And there's drama in this, but this is if Hellboy hadn't lost every sense of humor possible. This is just pure, unadulterated fun.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I will keep buying Atomic Robo forever.
This is my first official copy of an Atomic Robo book that was not a free comic book day. I have several graphics, but you're like, no, and I didn't even ask for this one. You're like, no, it's a Western. You're getting the first one.
It's pretty basic, you know. I didn't want to wait for another trade this time.
You know, it's damn good.
Yeah.
It really is. And the only one we quit on was, although we had...
Unfortunately, She Devils of the Pacific, which pulled itself
got
out
pretty
really
goddamn
well.
Good.
So, you know, we we got a little, full of ourselves and impatient with that one.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it was on the heels of the Real Science Adventures, which I did not love.
Yeah, I was quite disappointed by Real Science Adventures. I mean, with a title like that is the book I would be fucking reading. That is screaming Tech Jedi right there. And it just didn't really cut it. So, what else is not cutting it, and which is kind of irritating because we're only on issue 2 already, is Conan the Avenger. Now, the fight that ended issue 1
continues here,
but is interrupted by yet another wizard who is raising zombies specifically to get the fight stopped.
I did kind of enjoy, this guy has to be the worst witch hunter ever. He blames Conan. Then the zombies show up to interfere with the fight, so he's like, all right, not Conan. So then they blame the merchant, who is the third guy there, who turns into a zombie, at which point they rather geniusly realize, okay, probably not him.
Yeah, this guy needs to retire.
It's like, maybe you're a great witch hunter around the hut, but here in,
So the mysterious figure pops out of the ether or wherever the fuck he was coming on, points Conan in a direction, and they're off. They find a little cave with a forge. Somehow they just happen to find a cave that happened to have a forge in it. I don't know where they got the forge. Conan, of course, starts a fucking fight. So that's just what he does, really. They leave and they find the necropolis, because we've never heard that fucking word before. With, guess what?
More zombies.
You got it, baby. More fucking zombies. Who are actually dispatched in the usual way, the reactor core of the mainframe signal. So, whatever. And Agara, the Witchfinder guy, offers Conan a job.
It's amazing how many of Conan's jobs come from people who were originally trying to kill him.
It is. I've read plenty of things like that. It's craziness.
I don't like you. I don't like you either. I can't kill you, and you could eventually kill me. Let's team up, and I'm sure I'll survive.
Pretty much.
And Conan's like, yeah, odds are not with you.
No, the odds are never in your favor.
The magic Conan 8-ball says, Crom.
It's competent, but it doesn't stand out yet.
No, it is. It's certainly not terrible in any way, but, and to be fair, this is 2. I remember picking up 2 random issues, 19 and 20 or something, of
the last title.
Yeah, no. There's been so many.
The one that kicked off with Busick.
Yeah, the Busick run, and I was like, "Holy gods, is this good?" Now, to be fair, that was retelling the actual Conan stories, but they just nailed so many things in that, and I'm not getting that from this.
Not yet. I think Van Lente is more of a superhero guy. I mean, if he can spread his wings on this one in a couple more issues, then awesome. But right now, it's just kind of like, okay,
we're going to 6. If by 6 I'm not like, hey, yay, Conan antics. I want an antique-y book, and if it's not there, I'm going to take my antics and I'm going to go. How many times can you use antics in a sentence? My record is 3.
Now, the thing about 6s is that we're now up to Hellboy and Hell 6. So, Hellboy meets these 2 infernal cartographers. Who detail most of Hell's geography, which is kind of interesting, but also very dry.
You know what I really like, though, is you have these wacky cartographers who have no idea that they're dead. That's always fun in a good Hellboy book, and that's the kind of humor you now get. But the amount of times they're like, well, we're not sure about this. It's like, well, we have this area very clear. The rest of it, well, if you go that way, I believe there are trees.
And the thing is, Hell looks a lot like old Europe. It really does. They're taking him through this, we don't know this, all of that, and they're interrupted and driven off at the prospect of cards?
Well, there's some sort of card player who was cursed with eternal life till he got beaten in his own game, so Hellboy, of course, outdrew him in cards and sent him to hell. It's like, wow, I've broken your curse, so enjoy hell. And the guy, which turns out, he did not do. Now we finally see what happens after that kind of moment.
Yeah.
This is like a sequel to all those stupid Ghost of Dr. Graves, where Dr. Graves breaks the curse, and then the guy ends up in hell. He's like, wait, I was better off as a ghost. This fucking blows. Thanks for nothing, Dr. fucking Ditko.
Dr. Ditko. And just to top it all off, give us a little cherry on the cake kind of thing, we end up with the Vampire of Prague. So, bonus.
You know,
Yeah.
it continues to be fun. I love Hellboy, but yeah, like there's just that joy that was in the original ones. It's just no longer there.
Yeah, you know, it's still readable. It's still
And the art is
well done.
amazing.
It's just not. Well, I mean, that's always going to be. He's going to have palsy to not have his art be the way it's supposed to be.
Don't be jinxing my Mignola.
All right, so okay. In Veil 3, and trust me when I feel that I'm glad that this is 60% over. Okay, Cormac, whoever the fuck that was, the wizardy guy, the I'll kill you all even though you've hired me to do evil things for you guy. He continues with his little mysterious rituals, and he calls Veil to him. Now, the corporate guys who hired his dumbass to do whatever the fuck, we're still a mystery about what the fuck he's doing, right? They have put together a team to get her back. So he's calling her away. The corporate
Mob
guys are
SEAL
saying,
Team
no,
6.
I want her. And it seems she's a vessel?
I don't know, you know.
She is
you're the
currently-
host of the most, so I mean, what you say goes.
She is currently a vessel for a demon. Bleh.
Vale's got a ticket to ride.
To ride straight to hell and the dollar box.
You know, I gotta say, like, it's well put together. You're curious what happens next, but at no point you're like, ooh, that's new or that's interesting. And the art is kind of neat, but the long 3-page rat fight,
Yeah, that was kind of boring.
fuck off, man.
I hate rats. I mean, literally, in real life, hate rats. And not like, oh my god, I hate rats. Not like I'm scared of them hate. I mean, like, loathe, fucking kill them on sight.
Yeah,
hate.
the use
They don't frighten me, I just want them all dead.
in life, a rat basically means you failed horribly at life, fucking cleaning, pretty much everything. At no point do you see a rat and you're like, well, my shit's together.
Exactly, man. So yeah, that's Veil.
But it's not a terrible book by any stretch.
It's just, with Rucka, I'm used to better.
I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm happy we're going to finish it off. But at no point I'm like, I wonder if they'll keep going with this character. No, I really don't.
No, I wouldn't be getting a second one unless the next 2 issues are just mind-bogglingly standout awesome. Now, why is that guy smacking these other guys with raw meat on the end of a knife?
I have no idea. It may be a body part. Like, we are not doing well with film.
Ugh,
Eat the bear paw.
All right, so they gave us 2 issues of Uber this time, 12 and 13.
Some backstory antics.
Lots of backstory antics. 12 belongs to Stephanie. It's very Stephanie-focused as we follow her around lying about memories.
With some weird
This is
giant
my
pink
first
monster
memory,
thing.
and she keeps justifying that they're her first memories by acting as if she's had entire new lives created at these turns of personal history. That's what I was coming across. That's what was coming across to me. She finally runs a test on herself, and it turns out, holy shit, she could be a battleship. Oh my god! She's enhanced capable. This whole time, we find out Conan has developed into some lurch-like creature who is just carries her around, jumping, you know, like the Hulk from town to town and Lower England and shit. Kind of weird. 13 finds us discovering that what Maria, the Russian chick, who got her hand cut off, remember her? Remember that?
Yes.
She was the 1 in 10,000 that they thought wasn't going to make it, and then she turns out she's fucking amazing. So she escapes, and we find out what she's been doing since she escaped, which is hanging out with an old couple and feeding them some kind of fucked up bio honey she makes out of blech.
Space gruel!
It's kind of disgusting. But of course, the good life can't last as the Russian army shows up and she wipes them out. This creeps out and angers the 2 old Russian senior citizens who have been hiding her. And she's like, well, I guess I gotta go.
No one will hurt you as I rip their skulls from their bodies with
Yeah.
my brain.
What is this bio honey? Where is he getting these weird powers, man?
He's going for some unique concepts, but yeah, the mud gruel was gross.
I don't know what was happening with that, and I didn't like it. It creeped me the fuck out.
Crazy madness in Uberdom.
Do you have anything to comment or add to those assessments?
You know, the pink thing was not like he's starting to fuck with history in a big way, and it's getting very cool. It has become a must-read book, and he's getting better at hitting points where you're like, "Ooh, next issue," as opposed to, "Okay, that was very history-driven." A couple of the early ones were definitely big walls of what, and now we're really starting to see an evolution. Characters are taking on their own patterns and personalities. It is becoming a really strong book.
Yep. Always been digging it. Right, so they finally gave me a science fiction book.
Kind of.
And no, it's sci-fi.
It's a horror science fiction.
It's a horror
It
sci-fi.
gets a kind of.
But it's by Garth Ennis, so you expect a certain level of insanity. And I'm not sure he's really hitting the science just yet.
No, and hence why I say kind of, because the concepts are there, but the execution is more about people facing into stuff.
Right. So the tensions are rising on the Caliban as the crew finds more and more things out about the other ship that they ended up fused with. Such as a zoo-like chamber where maybe the creature's dead. The one they crashed into and fell out of the chamber was dead, and it fell on this poor blonde girl, and she thought
Spilled
she was
dead
being
babies
eaten.
all over.
It spilled dead babies on her, which I could have done without remembering. I don't know why you do shit like that.
Because it happened, and it was gross and wrong.
Now, they try to do some damage control and some exploring, but that shit takes a hit as Carrion, the former XO, starts going all Event Horizon on people.
Yeah, no, there was very much a alien moment where, dude, you might be a robot.
It's hard to tell, and I really don't like either outcome.
Both are steals from other things. One thing, though, I have to say, I love Garth Ennis when he's on. He has not been on for me in a while.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate.
But here's the thing, like, this has all the earmarks of here's 4 major characters and 11 disposable crew members.
Yes. I completely agree with that.
And I'm done. It's like, dude, put some time in. Don't let me know who the leads are in 4 seconds.
Right.
Make everybody a character and then surprise me with who gets slaughtered. And I'm going to care way more than, okay, you're big, you're important, and you're going to get your face eaten in 5, 4, 3, 2, alien booger monster.
It's all true. I do like it because it is in space. There are
I did get to
ships.
say alien booger monster,
They're
too.
all-
So.
You love the alien booger monsters. That's what you're about. That's your idea of science fiction.
It's sad but true.
You know, protons? Fuck that. I don't know what a proton is. I know what an alien fucking
Booger monster.
booger monster is. Those are easy to identify.
Yeah. My science fiction involves lightsabers. Which makes it science fantasy, yes. yes, I know. Bloody, bloody, blah, blah,
I'm
blah.
fine with that. They never talk any science in Star Wars. It's
They don't even pretend, man.
not even.
They barely talk about the use of the midi-chlorians pissed off the entire goddamn world.
We're not talking about midi-chlorians again. Okay, we'll save that for an actual Star Wars discussion someday. Yeah, and Sovereign 3, somewhere along the line, I gave up 100% on this book.
Wow, from we never made it to 60, but from like 15 to 0 and fuck off.
Yes. I don't care about any of the characters. None of what they're saying makes fucking sense. There's this weird internecine horseshit that I don't care about.
There's some
because I
cool
don't know any of
concepts.
these characters.
There are ideas in this book, I have to say. There are some concepts that are creative with the demon hunters and the whole confusion over burying people and the alternate religions and the 3 brothers who have obviously all taken different paths to being awesome. It's cliche upon cliche with weird art that doesn't suit it.
No, I half the time people say this all the time. I am being 100% sincere. I honestly, at points, did not know what the fuck I was looking at.
And sometimes the art connected, like the brothers sequence with the zombie father. You're like,
Yeah,
okay,
that one was actually pretty clean. It made sense. It flowed.
But even at then, at no point, like, the art took me out of it.
Yeah.
I don't care about a single character. The lead, from what I can tell, is sort of the whiny accountant dude. Yeah, rock on with your accountant badassness. No one has said that ever.
But then they try a little bit to make it seem like the point of view character is the neophyte Death Eater person.
Yeah, they're going for the classic fantasy, like, here's part from this person's viewpoint, here's part from this person.
Yeah.
And of course they're all going to coincide into one big group that'll walk around the goddamn earth like Kane and Kung Fu. And the thing is, like, I feel like if you were to read this in a novel where you could draw it out slowly, it might be interesting.
Yeah.
But there's some big cliches, and the ideas are generic, and the characters are just not there. And that's a fucking faux pas.
Yep, it is.
And honestly, the art is like, if this looked great, I would have much less problem with it. The art is what's killing me on it, and it's not like the guy's untalented. Like I said, there are sequences where I'm like, well, that looks good. It just doesn't suit the epic scale of what I'm looking for in this.
Right. It's all true. It's absolutely true. So yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I bought 4. I didn't bring it because I don't give a shit.
Is the box of shite worthy, or is it
Going? Someone is gonna get this and they're gonna love it. And it's going to fill a gap in their lives it couldn't fill in ours.
There are fans for this book. There's
sure.
definitely people out there going to be like, damn, this is some intricate, deep... Dan the Man would probably dig this.
Yeah,
I
as
don't
a
know
matter
that he
of
could
fact.
get down with the art,
Yeah.
but concept-wise, this is right up his freaking
I don't know.
alley.
I didn't see anybody spotting blacks. So
For all we know, this could be an entirely spotted black issue. Like, if you were to get the artist edition, it's like the all spotted black issue. Like, fuck, I still don't know.
I looked that shit up like 4 times. I couldn't figure out what the fuck they were talking about. I read a wiki article on it. I read a fucking artists collective article on it. I'm like, what are you saying to me? I've spotted it. Yes, it's right there. I can
Spotting
see
the
it.
black sounds like a vaguely racist bus game. Like, it just
Oh,
does not seem...
shit.
Like, I don't understand it.
What else I don't know? Well, no, that's not true. That's a bad segue.
Pull back on your segue, sir.
I do understand Tales of Honor, Basilisk Station 2.
I just don't care.
I just don't care. I will bet that these books are actually high quality.
The novels?
Yes.
How is it you've never
It's
read?
a
There's
very-
45,000 of them.
That's why. Sometimes it's different. Before the internet, it was impossible to tell where the fuck a series like that started. And even sometimes, if you do go to a place like Book Barn, you get the wrong clerk, they won't be helpful. You'll have to sit there in front of the shelves, taking those things down one by one, writing down the fucking publication dates.
That is a pain in the ass.
That's
I
a
have had to
huge
do
one,
that
and
kind of thing.
you've done that.
Yep. No, I do know what you're
I've
saying.
done that.
But this does list pretty clearly. I feel like the only thing I can say for this book is I feel like you should find the first novel. It seems like you might like it.
Yeah.
It's got powerful female characters, but they're not... It's not a comic-friendly novel.
It really is.
And the wacky space cat thing has been like, bah to you with your freaking attack cat.
Now, the meat of this particular issue is that Honor is still being held captive, and she's still being semi-tortured, and she's still rummaging through memories of the station, wherein she was tasked to be the commander to patrol the entire sector over here, running Basilisk Station. There's smuggling, there's political intrigue, and there's some really crazy military craziness that they cliffhang on, and I'm like, sure.
I don't. It's not captivating me at all. The dialogue is incredibly dry, and
It is, dude.
it is, and this is why science fiction has died off in a degree. And this is not a fair assessment, but it happens enough that it's a valid part of it. Is so many science writers don't write people well at all.
That's true.
Good science fiction still requires storytelling and character.
Yes.
And there are no characters in this. There's fucking archetypes and freaking just...
Which is hard to it's hard to say with this is only the second issue. We should have gotten a little more to work from by now.
Well, you know what? Nobody reads like they're actually having conversations. There's so much dialogue on every page, and all the dialogue is just expository nonsense.
Yeah.
It's just blah, 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 blah. And then the other one, wearing an equally stupid fucking beret, goes bloody bloody back, and then that just continues forever.
It's true.
Like Shang-Chi was silent compared to this fucking book. Rom had little to say about life.
And anybody who's read Bill Mantlo knows.
Silver Surfer is just quietly going about his day job compared to fucking Tales of Honor. And if you've read classic Silver Surfer, you know that the amount of pontificating that goes in that motherfucker. I ride the stars, but do I understand them? Son of the bitch.
Now, we turn right around. We take a corner and we go straight into the phenomenally much better Revival 20.
Dude, my only bitter disappointment with this issue is that it wasn't actually a story of her holding hands with Jesus. That cover was so amazingly inappropriate. I was like, oh my God, is this a God dream sequence? What is this? And then like it's a
You couldn't discount that though, could you?
I was waiting for it. The last thing I anticipated was an undead skater boy. Like, I'm like, wait, what? But learning to embrace life through killing yourself again and again since you can't die is pretty funny, but also kind of logical in a fucked up kind of way.
If you're gonna have the ability to not die, why not do things that would kill you?
Why not have experiences no one else can ever have, and remind yourself what feeling is.
It reminded me a little bit. You didn't get to these episodes, but it reminded me of the episodes in Battlestar Galactica where the Lucy Lawless Cylon keeps having the robot Cylons shoot her in the fucking head so she can resurrect.
That is very strange.
Yeah, she became addicted to dying. It was pretty funky and disturbing and cool, too. So
that's some wacky, weird shit.
But the meat of this issue was that we start off the same way we start off all the time. We get a little bit of stuff, and then we go chunk chunk, and we go somewhere entirely different to other characters doing totally different things, and you don't know why they're doing those. And you go chunk chunk, a couple pages later, and you're back to yet a third group of people doing other weird shit, and a chunk chunk, and there's a shmoo somewhere along the line, and a kid who doesn't feel like he's understood. But this time around, that formula goes that Dana is daydreaming about M confessing to the Czech brothers' murder while being questioned by Scully and Mulder. And I'm not going to use their real character names because they're Scully and Mulder.
It's really Scully and Wyatt Wingfoot. If you look closely,
Wyatt Wingfoot.
Like the girl looks exactly like Scully. The guy looks nothing like Mulder, except that, he's got a freaking short haircut and a suit. But the girl, like you could literally,
Mulder wore a suit all the time.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only defining characteristics that are the same.
So,
but you could cut out a picture of Scully from any X-Files comic and paste it over this girl, and you wouldn't notice.
You wouldn't.
Not at all.
They're telling Dana that there might be a reviver in New York City. Ooh.
Road trip!
Time to go! Now, M hangs out with Mr. Daredevil, Skater Boy, Jesus Rhodey, which is my now official name for the guy. The mayor and the sheriff talk. The mayor's wife is a reviver and kills herself right in the fucking living room with a pair of fucking bush shears.
Really clears up where the mayor's coming from with this.
Yeah, because initially you thought the mayor was just being a jerk, and he's like, okay, yeah, now I get his character arc here.
And what they do in this issue, and I can't clear this up enough, is that the shmoo is officially a soul. We now know that the shmoo is a soul.
Yes.
And combining with it is kind of crappy.
Yeah, it's not good for you.
Like maybe
it
it's
killed
good
the dog.
You might go to heaven, but you're definitely dissolving and not showing up anymore.
Right. So, ew.
Yeah. But the shmoo is revealed. The shmoo is not an alien. It's a gelatinous soul. Isn't that better?
Well, it really is.
No, it is.
You'd prefer alien?
No, but finding out that my soul is a giant spindly leg pile of friggin' goo that possesses puppies.
Well, it's amorphous.
Spindly legged, gelatinous pile of goo.
Well, I mean, we've seen it being a pile of goo, and we've seen it being spindly legged, and we've seen it in various shapes and stretchinesses.
And it possesses puppies.
It has possessed a puppy. It tried to possess Majak, but Majak was like, "No, you're going to die soon anyway. Fuck that. I ain't renting a condemned building up in this motherfucker.
You want how much a month for this? There's an iron ball coming through your skull, man.
Now, Majak meets with a shaman because he wants the shmoo dead. I guess because his dog died because of the fucking shmoo. So.
Well, Majak is such a healthy and
Oh
mentally
yeah,
secure.
he's a fucking all-together fucking guy right there. And it amused me. I can imagine this happening out in the Midwest, out in the South. I can imagine the hat. I have no problem believing that this guy saw a hat like this, was amused by it, and put it in the comic.
What was the hat again?
The hat said, "The original home security repelling invaders since 1492." That amused me. And I absolutely believe that that's a real hat somewhere. So we get even better now because Velvet is back.
Yes.
So I've been so dying to get this fucking book back. I love what Brubaker does. I have not been disappointed by anything he's ever done. It's 1956 and Velvet is on vacation. We flash back yet further, so we get a flashback within a flashback, which is kind of but it's her schooling. And of course she's under the perfect tutelage of her war hero spy master Pauline. Now, V and Richard, who she's on vacation with, fight, implying that she knows who killed that he killed Pauline.
No. Pauline.
Right?
It's two separate things.
Is it?
The death of Pauline
Right.
is an object lesson that being a spy is a sucky way to live.
Right.
Richard and she are fellow spies in love.
Right.
Who only have
They
moments,
are.
have her only moments together are in character as other people. So a whole
Yeah.
different spy level fuck up thing. But then she's assigned to kill Richard.
I totally forgot that part.
Well, you also read it a month ago.
Yeah.
She goes to do so. Richard reacts, and the assumption is, of course, because he's guilty. And what she realizes at the end of the issue is that Richard reacts because she's a scary ass bitch coming towards him. He's like, "Oh fuck!" She's like, "Someone made me kill my love with extreme violence and ninja kicks."
I know what you can do. Why are you walking that way?
And it's interesting because, of course, your immediate assumption is that obviously that is what happened. But yes, if you're a trained super assassin and your love buddy is an even nastier trained super assassin, and she starts coming at you with a gleam in your eye that does not say, "Hey, let's make that bed go creak, creak, creak." It's like, instead, I'm going to kick your upper lip over your head, and you can't do a goddamn thing about it. You're probably going to react.
So he was justified in doing so.
And sadly, then he got his brain splattered all over the cement.
Well, these things must happen in the spy world.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
In the spy world, this is probably a semi-normal end.
Luckily,
to a
we're not
relationship.
part of the fucking spy world here. Because I would be like, I would never get a mission done. I'd be like, still researching.
Wait, you want me to hook up with that super hot babe and then use her to get state secrets? All right, well, I'm going to use about the 7-year plan.
The state secrets are not going to go away. There'll still be secrets in 7
There'll be
years.
more a secret because they'll be 7 years further along.
Yeah, see, it's very basic. I've got a great plan for this.
They might even be winning the war by the time I report in. You'll be very pleased. We all will.
So, more to be pleased about is Saga 19.
In which?
Robot Jr. is born.
Didn't see that one coming.
Creepiest shit ever.
No, the creepy
I
shit
do
ever
not
is when you
need
have
to
to find your
see-
job in a telenovela play.
The thing is, the midwife is an alligator,
Yeah, what did it?
who you'd really think is just a terrible idea. So, then they
Nom 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 babies.
we've skipped some time.
Just a little bit.
We've skipped some time because in Marco and what are those two doing? The cats are they're having fun. So Marco and Alana are now hiding out, and he's playing the dutiful dad, taking the girl to the park and letting her play and blah blah. While Alana is in a really bad, as you said, telenovela
About
superheroes, which looks like it came straight out of Mexico City. El mundo es mañana gigante, López, España. Except this time it'd be Specia.
Super Macho Jedi Knight. Reference!
Marco is he's kind of hanging out. He's watching the kid play. He's approached by a dance instructor who looks like a fruit bat.
There's some weird shit in this.
It's just total imagination. It doesn't always fit.
Dude,
Every once in a while, I look at that and I was like, come on, guys.
You're just waiting for where the wild things are to walk by.
Pretty much, man. Maurice Sendak up in this motherfucker. You know, I've never read that.
Really?
Not even
For
once.
shame.
Well, you know, you'd normally get that shit just before first grade, around first grade,
Yeah, it's
right?
really not going to have an effect on you at this point.
Yeah. No, I mean, in general, that's when it would be, right?
Yeah, roughly.
Well, you know, in my house, there was the novelizations of fucking original Star Trek series. That's what I read.
I don't need no Maurice Sendak when I've got James Blish, bitches.
So the thing is, Alana acts really poorly. So she kind of gets canned. But then she gets rehired. And then there's a plumbing problem. And there's a giant bleeding walrus, which is really disgusting because apparently it's fucking menstruating.
Hey, when you buy something for blubber and then the kid adopts it as a pet, you know, that's just a
You
hard
can't
day.
kill it. It's tough. So, yeah, the last thing in the universe I ever wanted to read on the page of a comic book, and bless them for being twacked out enough to commit to put this down the paper, but fuck them enough to make me read it, is a menstruating walrus. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
Menstruating space walrus.
Space walrus. You know, it wasn't bad enough that walruses
With
exist.
photon flippers or something.
It wasn't bad enough that fucking menstruating walruses exist to begin with. You had to go take them into fucking space. Ugh. So there's this ominous
space where no one can hear you menstruate.
Ew. All right, enough bodily functions. There's an ominous precursor to the breakup that they implied a couple issues ago.
You know, they make this book very stressful.
They do.
And then they don't come out on time.
No. Giant jerks.
This is no so cool.
But I'm addicted.
The book is ridiculously addictive.
I love it and hate it.
You love it.
Because there's boobies, but there's alligator people delivering robot-headed babies.
Yes, that's the deciding factor in the book. These are the big fucking issues. Goof.
I am a goof. And so
Now,
are
in
you.
a totally different field.
Yeah, we get a slightly different brand of science fiction going on here with Mark Miller's and Goran Parlov's Starlight, #3.
Now, this is space fantasy.
This is definitely space fantasy. If you remember from previous episodes, this
know you don't.
is Flash Gordon all over again, updated and old. He's an old guy.
This is a tired Flash Gordon.
He's
Although he
a
still
tired-
kicks some
He
severe
can
ass.
kick that shit, yo. So what happens? They're back on the planet, and McQueen, who is the star, jumps right into justice. That's what he does, man. He's all about it. We get a lot of scenes justifying his return by, as the everything wrong with guys on YouTube would say, evil guy is evil.
Some wacky antics.
The Lord Kingfisher, really? Kingfisher? Really? On another planet? Proves his heartlessness and his brutality.
Yeah, there's some big time slaughtering going on here.
Ugh, craziness. Wow, I enjoyed it.
Now it is. I'm very proud that I took a chance on Millar, and because this is much like Superior. This is like as close to a kid book as you're going to get from him.
Yeah.
It's insane and dark and fucked up, but at the same time, there's a lighter tone missing from several other things.
We'll just put that here. Anyway.
Meanwhile, at the other end of the dark spectrum,
I love it. It's a great book. And I hope it doesn't go on forever, though, because I can see it going, boom!
you know what? I feel like 50-year-old Flash Gordon definitely has the shelf life.
Exactly.
But the fact that I'm enjoying it 3 issues in is boggling my mind. So
Yeah, that's a big bonus. So, now we come to a truly new book. As in, we've never heard it before. It's a different concept. Apparently, this character has shown up in like Hoax Hunters or something, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
Nailbiter.
The Nailbiter, who lives in the town in Oregon, which has the highest rate of serial killer production in the country. More serial killers have been created and hunted in this town than anywhere else at all. You want to go get the cat? Because she doesn't give a shit about your finger snapping. She's trying to go downstairs. Well, not really. She's coming back up. She's just exploring. She's just checking things out.
She doesn't want her down there, though.
So Finch is the troubled intelligence guy from the army, called upon to investigate the town, which is
By
called
the obsessive detective.
Buckaroo. Now, you must have loved that.
I did.
The town called Buckaroo. That was right. It's like, it's for Bill.
Riding with the devil with a buckaroo.
He meets a dealer of serial killer novelties, which is just so mind-bogglingly creepy.
You know, in any niche market, you find a dick.
True. Outside of that shop, he meets the girl Alice, a pretty badass gothy teen being harassed by the local jock douchebag.
Yeah, but you know what? You gotta give the jock douchebags credit. Like, if you grow up in a town where, like, jock douchebag or serial killer meet 101, like, if you're gonna go up to the girl, like, you're probably the next serial killer. Like, balls of steel, dude. God damn.
It would be. You don't know if you're the next victim. And you still go ahead and harass people?
I mean, historically, in fictional serial killers, quarterbacks and douchebag sportos are pretty high in the food chain for being slaughtered like baby harp seals. So, you know what? Normally, in that kind of scenario, like, those guys are dicks. Those guys are hero dicks. They take tickets and they're like, no, I'm not going to stop being dick in the face of pure fucking death. No, I will not. I will stand up and be counted. I am a dick. I pick on the small and the weak. And I do so even when threatened to being fucking devoured and eviscerated by one of my classmates. Stand up with me, douchebags. All together now.
What?
I have no idea what I'm saying anymore.
That's because you're a lunatic. So, the sheriff shows up to break up the whole harassment thing, and she hips Finch to the happenings and operations of the town. And that's the issue. I thought it was a pretty good start.
The cover is fucking appalling.
The cover is just...
gross as hell. But yes, it was shockingly interesting and builds nicely. It was... for a book, I'm like, I don't know that I want to read anything called Nailbiter. Actually, I know that I do not. I was like, okay. Not where I thought it would go. Didn't get very gross insight, although I assume that won't last.
Probably not.
But yeah, definitely would check out the next one. I believe you did get the next one.
Sure did.
So, experiment win to you.
Bing. Now, I'm on the fence about experiment number 2, which is Warren Ellis's Trees.
Heavy concept.
Not enough room to develop it just yet.
Alien trees have landed, crushing a whole bunch of shit. And you can't blow them up because they negate atomic bombs, so the world falls to crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I nutshelled it.
Now, the thing is, we're given this concept that I, as a science fiction fan, have great issue with. These things are so hyper-intelligent and insouciant that they can't even tell that tool use and functional buildings and technology in orbit is intelligent life. Doesn't fit.
Well,
now, if they
could be
didn't care, that was one thing. That's one thing. If a sufficiently advanced society is like, they're ape men, we don't give a shit. That's one thing. If they can see construction and tool use and still think that's not intelligent, fuck it. Doesn't fit.
No, I see what you're saying. I didn't really think about that. I more interpreted that as they think we're aphids, so they don't fucking care. But yes, the description is that, like, they don't recognize.
Right.
My big one was actually more sociological.
Yes.
Like, do you remember a point during the Gulf War where people were actually forgetting we were at war? Like I'm just reading, like, whatever. Like, do you really think the society is going to fall to shit because giant space trees are just sitting there not doing a goddamn thing?
Not really.
it'd be like, oh, really, that's great, but the Jeffersons are still on.
It's all true. And maybe that says something horrifying about us, and maybe that says something about our resilience. I won't make that judgment tonight. But
More beer, less podcasting, and you totally will. But I live in a world where the Jeffersons fix everything, apparently. So.
Well, they do move on up. So, there's a scientist that shows up to study the tree things, and there's a station far north for some reason
That no one wants to go to.
where people puke when
And-
they show up.
Dude, there's a lot of weird... and the little kid artist thing...
I didn't even really catch what was going on with him.
It was hard to follow. There's some weird concept stuff going on here.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll pull it all out. I mean, he usually does. But, yeah, I'll stick with it for a little while. We'll see. Aw, kitten! Skullkickers 27.
Yay!
A dozen cousins and a crumpled crown.
There's really no point in talking about the plot of these books. You just have to talk about Glee. Because the plot is so convoluted and weird and multi-channel dwarf versions. But our heroic Rolf the dwarf, like the backstory of him not being the world's most awful dwarf is kind of awesome.
Yes,
But
that was fun.
Him as zombie dwarf having the rock fall on him at the end made the entire, just like, crap, splat.
So... He steals the crown. He wants to get in on the war-tyke armor, which is kind of funny and kind of silly at the same time. War-tyke.
Yeah, there's some light touches, and some of them don't hit the bullseye.
No, I was trying to figure out if they, like war child, they were trying to because that's a pretty typical phrase to be using in fantasy. The war child.
Well, war type, they're dwarves.
War type. I mean, that
you need
seems
something smaller.
Yeah, a little
war
bit.
child is for people. That's too tall.
I figured war tyke is a little bit of satiricalness added on to the self-involved seriousness most people who would use a thing called a war child do.
I just, I never wanted to be a dwarf more. Like, they're like, oh, you feel scared? Drink.
Pretty much.
You feel gross? Drink.
It is. I mean, it's literally liquid courage to them.
It's not even courage. It's liquid. Everything. It's like, how do you solve every problem?
Drink
alcohol. I have found my people.
Yeah, so they actually end up killing poor Ralph.
Do they?
Or they think.
Yeah, I mean...
They think they kill poor Rolf.
They've done
because
such
the giant
horrible
stone
things.
he's been being judged in, ready for execution, suddenly just collapses on him. And they're like, oops.
It's a great book, but I'm like, Rolf is my favorite, obviously. Yeah, sometimes your favorite character makes sense, and sometimes it really makes sense.
The next one is more fun, where they get into the gender of dwarves, and the elf is just like face palm. That poor elf never catches a fucking break, man.
It is so good, though.
All right, now the thing here, we're closing in. We're rapidly closing in. We got a shitload of Star Wars stuff, and then we got one last sign. This is sci-fi month, really.
Let's do the sci-fi one first, because I feel...
Yeah, you want to do all four of those first?
Well, because Fuse was... it came out left... I didn't see anything about this book. You bought it separately.
Yeah, I bought it for all the entire first four issues at once in the shop because
with a couple of
I knew I
reprints, right?
skipped it, but I knew I kind of wanted. I was kind of curious about it. I was piqued, but I didn't want to bother ordering it.
And it
turned out to be a
captivates.
payoff.
It is there's some weird things that are not getting quickly resolved, but the story moves. It reminded me a lot of Caves of Steel for the obvious science fiction.
Yeah. Excellent.
Detective comparison.
Yes, it's a pretty good cop drama, but it's set on this giant space station with homeless people, and there's political intrigue, and there's the grizzled Russian hero cop who is a woman, which is fine with me because she kind of kicks ass either way.
But I don't know if it's
Everybody's
an art
fucking
choice,
scared
but
of her.
everyone's calling what looks like guys girls, and what looks like it's. There's some telling that she's a woman was particularly challenging.
Well, I mean, the art is not precisely, cheesecake
at all,
So-
which is fine. I have no problem with that.
No,
but
neither do I.
She's also calling the obviously male new character by a woman's name, so I was getting kind of confused as to if that was a teasing thing or not.
Yeah, she was just fucking with him. That's what she does.
But
She
no,
fucks with everybody.
all the characters are being brought together nicely. You've got an intricate modern noir political plot, like Chinatown mystery plot. There's a lot of elements, and they're weaving them nicely. And the science fiction world building is well thought out.
Yes, it really is. Except,
What do you got?
the
The
and I,
cables?
and I didn't like this in Babylon 5 either, because there shouldn't be any reason somebody shipped up. I mean, it takes a lot of technology and a lot of effort and a lot of expenditure of energy, a literal expenditure of energy, and therefore money to get somebody to a fucking space station. So unless you're born there, no one should ever go to a space station without a purpose. So to have homeless guys, I mean, maybe they had mental breaks or something and they couldn't do their job anymore. Well, they should have been shipped somewhere else.
Well,
There is limited everything on
the
a space
homeless
station.
people. There were riots, and the colony kind of fell apart.
Well, people pull this in sci-fi a lot. Babylon 5 is rather famous for the oh God, what did they even call that? Down Below. They call it Down Below, where all the poor, the trash people were the expendable people.
Well,
Disposable
inevitably, when
people.
you build a society, some of them aren't going to make it all the way. So this has obviously been around for a while, but they do. You're right in one sense, which is that they do have that constant, and it's more a science fantasy. Star Wars is responsible for a lot of this. Like, here's your way station of filth and villainy.
Oh yeah.
And so you have this idea: all these people are flying to space to get away from responsibility in life. It's like,
That is the thing that came across in this book.
yeah,
pretty clearly.
This is a space station for losers. And you're like, why? But then they do seem to have mass transit. Like, these people are not flying in like, this is the bus.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
within the world, there's a logic to it, but you're right. Like, there's always this idea. It's like, no, just stay the fuck home if you're like, don't. No one's like, oh, let's get all the scummy people off
the
to our
government
expensive
is
new space
paying
station.
for air for these people. Air they wouldn't have to pay for, wouldn't have to strain the recyclers so much if everyone on the station did have a purpose and a job.
And it's not like they're like the scum of the earth. Right? It's like, oh,
No, most
I'm
of
leaving
them-
a pretty sizable tax debt.
Yeah.
You're just a dill hole. Like, yeah, no one's paying to ship you away there, Rocket Boy. So yeah, there's a definite truth to that. But as the 4 issues go, you've got infidelity. You've got it's like classic noir in a science fiction setting, but the science fiction doesn't lack, and that's a good thing.
Yes. I was who even does this? Anthony Johnson. I think he's got a good handle on most of this
I
stuff.
was very pleasantly surprised with it.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know what the hell this is, but usually when you buy things in bulk, I'm like, crap. But no, it was quite a good read. Fuse comes well recommended.
All right, so why don't we knock out some Star Wars and call this a night?
What do you got?
Because it's already an hour 22. We got straight up Star Wars, where betrayal after betrayal happens as Luke is stranded on a mountain, Han's pissy, the prince may or may not be in on the plot to take the rebels look bad, and then the Empire.
There's a lot of convolutedness here.
Yeah, everybody gets turned on. There's a turncoat in every other fucking page, and they're all after the rebels.
But no, it's still a great book.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, the details are not particularly important to all that. The Empire's coming. There's a plot to, get rid of the rebels to the planet Arachar. Getting good with the Empire, and of course that's going to fucking fail.
Yeah, well,
that's not going to come out well. You don't make deals with the fucking Empire and come out on top.
Ask Lando.
Yeah.
Well, they're not trying to come out on top. Their plan is to come in as players by delivering something to the Empire. Like, they're a small world that thinks that they can move their way into a big shot. And it's not going to happen.
Well, on top in relation to the rebels.
Fair enough. But yes, obviously it's going to fail miserably because it's not called fucking Empire Wars.
Yeah.
The story of how the beloved Empire crushed some pesky rebellion hooligans.
Hooligans. Yeah, just some smuggler hooligans, whatever. So, The Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I have a 2-word review for this. Fuck off. Finally over. Same first letters.
There was a rather anticlimactic battle, and there's
Dude, it's
a
horrible. And then
couple
Vader
of-
suddenly joining sides.
yeah.
This reads like the fan fiction of an idiot.
Well, you know my views on fan fiction, so I would have to say fan fiction is for idiots.
Yeah, dude, that was horrible. Like,
I did not like it, did not care.
from Solo thing, like, it just, nothing about it was, at no point was like, oh, that's a clever idea. Why they didn't use that?
This is why things go through the draft process.
You know, quite honestly, George Lucas is the greatest editor of all time, because you could get Star Wars from that fucking hunk of melted cheese and filth.
Into the glory that we experienced in 1977.
Like, he is the single greatest editor of all time.
No, seriously, that was crap. Then
That man is a writing ninja to fucking take that lump of fucking llama poop and whittle it into Star Wars.
I'm so glad they changed so many things, because that could have been just another random Corman movie, really.
Dude, if we had seen that in the theater, it would have been the destruction of Jared Sin. I've said it before.
Yes, it totally would.
Beastmaster.
Now, a thing I was happy with, though, and you're not quite on board yet, but I think you will be. I was insanely happy with Rebel Heist. 1 and 2.
We tried one issue of Mind Management,
Yeah.
and I liked it more than you did. The major issue for both of us was that the art was just bizarre.
It was fucking high school freshman art. That's what I'm gonna say about it.
But there were clever concepts in it, and this takes an interesting take in which you have side rebellion characters in each issue have an experience.
One of them's a flat out new recruit who goes running around with Han.
And in terms that Han is fucking insane.
Well, yeah, we all knew that, you know.
Well, we know, but we know it because we watched all the movies. The thing is, this really takes on Star Wars. It's not taking on Empire or Return of the Jedi. This is dealing with the characters right after. It feels like anyway, right after Star Wars. Han is still he hasn't been softened.
Right.
You're dealing with Han Solo, who shot fucking first.
Smuggler pirate boy.
Like, I'm a fucking lunatic fringe. I'll kick you in the face, run off with your girl, and if you don't like it, I got a Wookiee around here somewhere who will eat your brain.
And if you don't like it, I've got a Wookiee around here that will eat your brain.
And then on top of that, issue 2, you've got a Twi'lek spy
Who is already at least experienced. She's not a noob like the last guy.
and she's like, oh, here comes Princess Leia, and Princess Leia's like, no, you want to see some spycraft?
I'll
Susie
show you
badass.
some shit.
No.
And that's just an awesome cover. I love Adam fucking Hughes. Man.
No, dude, the covers are great. The art is very strong, and it's building up slowly. And the next issue seems to be Chewbacca based.
It is. You're gonna love it.
Oh, I cannot wait.
I'm telling you.
It's a great series. By taking Star Wars back to its elements, and the main thing is, and I've said this before, but I really want to speak on it. It's returning to the days of the Marvel Star Wars, and not that the Marvel Star Wars are like the pinnacle of awesomeness or anything, but it's treating the characters like they're new, and you can play with them, but still treat them like characters. By the end of Marvel Star Wars, and particularly in most of the Dark Horse stories, you're dealing with so many other people's characters and shit like that.
Yeah. There's so many layers upon layers, and there's actually some kind of. There's a limited continuity you got to deal with in the Dark Horse stuff too.
It just gets so convoluted, and this is just here are the elements. These characters are awesome. Why do you need more? Yes, there are going to be other characters because A, you need people you can kill off,
Right.
And B, you just can't have the same five fucking. None of Wedge is going to survive.
Yeah.
Han's going to do this. So you need other elements, but eventually, like, fucking. Psychic pink bunny rabbits and 8-foot tall meat-eating green lepivores and I don't even want to talk about the fucking misery that came out of this. I'm yet another Jedi Master, and
that got a little ludicrous. I mean, there were literally thousands of them, but most of there shouldn't have been that many. Oh, we just found another Jedi Master thing.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. They limit that shit.
So this is really just whittling it back down, just like Brian Wood was doing in Star Wars. Like, here are your core characters. They're going to have adventures. That's what we're going to do.
Yep.
All right? We don't need fucking 8 pages on Mon Mothma's background as a fucking celebrity chef. No.
And I think that's damn near the perfect point to call this even. I don't think you're going to get any funnier than Mon Mothma, celebrity chef.
Bless you, fuckers!
Good night.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.